Speak the truth and shame the devil. It's an old saying that is supposed to be a reference to speaking truth to power. We have fallen so far away from that now we kill such people that would speak the truth. In fact, we call them names: traitor, terrorist, and so forth and so forth. How did we get like this? How do we trust our government so much that we don't even question things that are right in front of our face? Black people don't question Obama because he's black. They're lulled into this sense of comfort just from Obama being half black. They don't even see how much destruction he has caused in the black community, the Afro-American community. I want to stop saying black because it doesn't describe anything. We're not black. We're brown or tan or even off-white, depending on the level of mixture we have in our blood. So I want to get away from white. Let's go back to saying Afro-American and actually describe something. African-American, I'm fine with, and people say, oh, that separates you. Okay, how about Afro-American? Let's go back to Afro-American. It does denote a sort of Africanness to you. And white people are trusting. Why are they trusting? Because they are harped on support our troops, support our troops, support our troops. And then they're so into that support our troops that the politicians say, therefore, if you support the troops, you support us sending them off to places just to allow U.S. corporations to rape and pillage and steal brown people's resources, be they Middle Eastern, be they African, be they South American, be they Asian islanders, right? The islanders, Pacific Islander or something like that. That's how they get you. Support our troops. Yes, support our troops. Yes, that's great. And then they tell you the lie of our troops are defending the Constitution. They're stripping day by day the Constitution to shreds, but out of the other side of their mouth, they're saying our troops are defending the Constitution. No, they're not. They're not defending the Constitution. They're assisting in the rape and engulfing in fire of the Constitution and all of our rights. Because the more powerful Wall Street gets, the less power mainstream gets. Who do you think writes these laws? It's Wall Street. Speak the truth and shame the devil. Who's the devil in this sentence? The U.S. federal, state, and local government. I've never had to deal with the local government as much as when we bought a house. Oh my God, you don't own your house. You get permission to rent it, literally rent it. Because if they really wanted to, they could take everybody's house in the entire city and there would be nothing you can do about it. Because the Constitution to them is completely inapplicable. It doesn't apply to cities as far as they're concerned. The whole notion of private property is out the window. You're taxed for stuff that you don't even get a benefit from. Single people are taxed for schools. You have all of these regulations. Support our troops. And then black people get on it. Oh yes, support our troops. The same troops that didn't even allow black people in my lifetime. I'm not talking about 500 years ago, 100 years ago, 60 years ago, in my lifetime. And it's still going on. Oh, it's under the table now. Did I upload? I don't know if I uploaded that video. I'll have to upload that video. In my lifetime, blacks are not welcome in the military. In my lifetime. Oh, and I don't want to hear about, well, I know a guy who's a 3-star general. That's one black guy. And he's not even that black. He's Obama black. People deal with anecdotal evidence. And when I present them with truth that applies to massive massive amounts of people, massive amounts of black people, massive amounts of white people. They go, but I know a guy and a woman, and they've been married for 50 years. Or I know a guy who applied and got into college. I know a guy who actually works on Wall Street. Anecdotal evidence is not evidence. Just because you know one person, that's the exception. Obama is the exception. I don't actually think that the powers that be would really accept a black president. What do I mean by a black president? If I were president, first of all, I'd do a whole bunch of libertarian stuff, which would get me killed in probably 2 days. I'd try to be as secret about it as I possibly could, but I would do a whole bunch of libertarian stuff. I would also remove all of the stuff that is trouncing on the black population. It's absolutely no accident that the black community wealth has been depleted by 60% under Obama. That's not an accident. I know these numbers simply because I deal with Pan-Africanism and I study black stats. Everybody thinks I'm just pulling stuff out of my butt. No, I deal with black stats all the time. I search the FBI, if you want to see my sources. I search the Council on Foreign, the CFR, the Council on Foreign Relations. I go directly to the belly of the beast. IRS, census, shadow stats. I go to the same exact sources that the news media actually gets their stuff. That's why I do a lot of news reports truth. They'll get a report and then their particular editor or their news channel or whatever will edit it, take out stuff that they don't want and that they want to promote. So they promote this side of the big case of Fox News and the 7th Circuit or 3rd Circuit, I don't know what circuit, in Florida, where the couple went out and did a full story on how milk and cows are being pumped full of this hormones, presented it to Fox. There were reporters there and they were fired, subsequently fired. And when they sued, the circuit court says that news channels do not have a responsibility to tell the truth. Did you hear me? Go look that up. That news channels do not have a responsibility to tell the truth or present facts. That is not, and, hold up, and that the FCC does not have authority to even question news channels about their stories. That is not within their realm of responsibilities and that they have, in fact, they said that they had absolutely no control over that. That's not a power that's granted to them. They have no such power. As per the, I guess, Constitution. I don't know what they're citing, but anyway, Fox took the story about the dangers of milk and beef, and they said the exact opposite. They said that milk and beef was fine, and that's the story that they ran with, and they fired the couple of reporters that did the research. Why? Because they have an advertiser that is was a milk or beef advertiser. So they, of course, did the positive report instead of the negative report. This is what we do. This is the state that we're in now in the United States. Those people got fired. The one reporter got killed in his car, right? Speak truth to power. The entire point of the United States and being a patriot is to question your government, not to roll over and take it. Oh, the government will take care of us. That was never a responsibility of the government. Never. Medicare, Medicaid, welfare, WIC, never a responsibility of the government. Unemployment insurance is fantastic if We're running it as a private thing. Let's say as a part of you getting a job that you take out unemployment insurance. You take it out, and you take out a policy that says, if I'm ever fired, I will receive this payout over every month, every 2 weeks, just as if I was receiving a paycheck. That would be perfect. That's fine. That's fantastic. But the government taking taxes from people working and taking it out of your paycheck, and then when you go to collect it, they say you can only collect it for 3 months. You can only collect it for 6 months. You can only collect it for a year. And you've been working 20 years. What do you mean? You've taken unemployment insurance out of my paycheck. It's invisible to you. It's invisible to you, so you don't even see it. Instead of you getting paid $20 an hour, you're getting paid $10 an hour. Did you know that there's hidden stuff all in the back that the employer has to pay? You don't even see it. I'm speaking truth to power. I'm trying to educate you. They're taking this stuff out of your paycheck and then turn around and saying, we're so magnanimous, we're going to extend it 6 months. We're so magnanimous, we're going to extend it 1 year. We're so magnanimous, we're going to extend it to 3 years. You've been having unemployment insurance taken out of your paycheck for 20 years. And we're not talking about it's a couple of pennies. We're talking about it's a full-fledged 10, 20, 30%, depending on who you're dealing with. Imagine that. So instead of you getting 130% of what you receive now, you're only getting 100%. So that 30% has been taken off year, a month, paycheck after paycheck after paycheck. And they collected that for 20 years and they only give you 1 year? Really? And other people have the nerves to say, all these people on unemployment. It's in quote unquote insurance that you paid into. It really isn't a case of welfare or the Social Security where you could come into the thing without anything and then check out with a Social Security check every month. You know, you can do that, right? You can collect Social Security because Social Security now covers a whole bunch of stuff that it was never intended to cover. And then they keep pushing back the age of recovery of payout every few years. So instead of 55, it's now up to what, 68? Something like that, 70? And they say it's because people are living longer. Well, this next generation isn't going to live as long as the people now. What are they going to do then? So it's really not even breaking. It's already not breaking even because now it covers all sorts of things. I'm saying speak truth to power. How are you all trusting the government so much? Speak truth to power and shame the devil. Now, I know all my atheist people are going to like unsubscribe or something because I said the word devil. I'm using it as a concept. A lot of these things are used as concept, and it was actually stuff to actually impart some wisdom to people, right? You slide it under the door so that the lord of the manor couldn't come against it. I mean, how can you come against something that's quote unquote religious sounding? Speak truth to power. Speak the truth and shame the devil. So the lord of the manor couldn't say, oh, this is an insurrection. Jail all these people and execute them. There's a war coming. It's already here, actually. It's already here. And I'm not talking about a revolution. I'm not talking about you, the public. I'm talking about our government is warring against us. And the police, this whole police matter and blah, 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 all that stuff, that's already been set up. They are fully militarized. Posse comitatus doesn't even apply anymore because the police are military. And why did we even have that? We had that because the military is trained to fight and slaughter enemies. If the military comes onto U.S. soil, who's the enemy? We are the enemy. Okay, we don't even need that anymore because the police have been militarized. What does that actually mean? That means not only that they have equipment, but they're now trained to shoot and kill the public. The thin blue line, there is no thin blue line. It's a big black anodized steel, anodized aluminum, I don't know guns. Whatever that color is. The black AR-17. I don't know a gun from my socks that disappear in the dryer. It's a very thick black line now. And it's not drawn in the sand, it's drawn in steel, in bullets. You talk about divide and conquer, and I just don't get people thinking that it's okay to shoot black people. If we're saying that we are a country of laws, the law says you capture the alleged criminal and bring him to trial, where the district attorney presents the case against the person. How can you have a constitution that says we're going to have all of these stipulations of that the government must meet first to throw somebody in jail? First, they have to do all of that first to throw somebody in jail. No, cops are executing people on the street. Damn a stop and frisk. They are executing people on the street. And when I dared ask, is it possible that these two cops that were killed in New York could be a false flag, I got men telling me, oh, that is so offensive. Whoa, when did I step off into the feminine men bus stop? You're offended as a man? Men are about logic and reason. I'm not saying women aren't, but men are always about logic and reason. And let's have a discussion. I'm going to tell you my side, and you can call me a bastard, whatever. I might throw some insults in there along with it, but I'm not going to be, oh, I'm so offended. What are you offended about? The question? You're offended by the question? Because we haven't had any false flags in this country? What is it, December? How many false flags have we had in December alone? And then finally someone said, it looks like a false flag. 2 people are killed, and all of a sudden we have, within seconds, an alleged culprit who kills himself. But first he killed his girlfriend, then killed 2 police, then allegedly killed himself. I mean, and it's just, case is closed. Case is closed. I'm pretty sure the police run a whole thing of, we hope to get a person within 24 hours, within 48 hours. 48 hours again. I mean, just like the 9/11s, does not smack of truth. Why? Because they had the case wrapped up within an hour of the entire incident. Within an hour, we know where they flew, we know where they trained, blah, blah. We had all of this information, and it was out on the news, the entire story, as if they were ready and prepared to say the story before the event even happened. That is the same thing that this double homicide with the police smells like. They had a story ready to go before it even happened. They wrapped up the case within an hour? Come on now. Are you all that much of sheep? And then you have the cops wearing, I can breathe. That's offensive on so many levels. Even George Bush came out and said, I don't know how those police got away with killing the guy. That makes no sense. George Bush. He was like, I wish I had that kind of luck. What sort of magic and what sort of witchcraft did they pull? This is a brand new day. I wish I had that kind of power. George Bush said this. I don't understand how those police with a videotape got away with it. George Bush. Speak the truth and shame the devil. Speak truth to power. The whole point of the American Revolution is that we spoke truth to power. And we took up arms to defend ourselves. Whose side are you actually on? Are you on the side of the citizens? You know our economy is busted, right? It's just that it just has not reached you. If you're not in the gutter, homeless, it just hasn't reached you yet. Keep living. Thank you for watching Chicago.